Hello, I'm XANADU, and I'm gonna show you how to go from this to this. I'm gonna be getting ready in my eye look. If you don't know my eye look is made by Taeya Mimosa. This is a look that I've been running around in Vegas with and kind of known for. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys how I do my eye look, and yeah, so let's get right into it. So I will be putting in my white contact later because I will not be able to do my makeup. So before I start any of my makeup, I always prime my face, and I use about like 3 primers. I use like an eye primer and then like 2 different face primers. And then I always start my face with like the MAC Fix Plus. I just want to feel fresh. So every time I do my eyes, I always do the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. And then whenever I do my face, I kind of go between like 3 different primers, but I usually end up only using about 2. Kind of lately, I've always been using this Wet n Wild one. And then I kind of go back and forth between 2 MAC primers. I have one that's a matte one and then one that's a prep and prime. I just use whatever. And I'm kind of letting that like marinate into the skin. I'm gonna go ahead and just start taping up my head, like kind of pulling, you know, the procedures up the top. Yes. Okay, so that seems extreme for like my hair, and I'm not even gonna be whipping my hair. However, I'm traumatized from losing my hair on stage like a long time ago. Yeah, so it's called trauma. So we will make sure that wig will never ever come off, even if I'm parking and barking. I don't care. Every time. So whenever I do my face, my go-to foundation is always the Sunset Makeup foundation in the white. It's the best white foundation I've ever used personally. I know people like the Mayron Clown White, but like, let's be real, that shit is way too thick. It doesn't blend right. I don't care. And then before I set my face with my creams, I like to do my lips. There was actually a Boulé podcast episode, and they talked about how they like to do their lip liner first, so that way they can clean it up, sharpen it with the creams. So that's what I like to do. Honestly, I love to do everything in creams first, and then like start, you know, setting everything with powders once I get my crisp, sharp lines. But yeah, to each their own. And I'm gonna sharpen those later with some liner. But that's basically like it for the lip. I will do the rest of the powder off screen because I'm going to be using a powder that I don't endorse. Something that causes clown run, so I will do that off camera. So before I go and continue the rest of the face, I'm just gonna start working on my eyes. I like to use a lot of like pinks and purples and then red for the inside. I honestly like to contour a lot with pink, if you can't tell. I just feel like it's pretty easy to like blend out and cover, personally. They're an herbal refreshment type of monster. So I kind of will give my eye like red tones. Cause if you paint like you're stone, then you don't look stone later. And yeah, I will do this for all the eyes too. Basically just focus like on the inner corners. And then once I do my pinks, then that's when I like to start throwing in a little bit of red here and there. I kind of use the purple like on the inside and outside of the eye for like giving it depth inside and outside. It's funny though, I'll do all this eyeshadow work and then it all just gets covered up with eyeliner anyways. So I'm like, what's the point? I'm only just highlighting now because if I don't do it now, I will forget. Now those are some nostrils. And I do apologize that half my face is kind of covered, like, it's what I can work with right now. So yeah, so this is like the eye detail. I did like some blood splatter. I'm gonna put some red mascara on right now and the white mascara on the other eye, and then I'm gonna start like getting my face gluey and tacky so that way I can start putting on my lashes like all over my fucking face. So I'm gonna do this eye last for the lashes, because once I do all these other lashes, I'm gonna pop my contact in, then I'm gonna just do this last part. So these are my lashes. So when I do my lashes for this look, I do use a mix of regular lashes, like the biggest ones that I can find, and then I use a mix of construction paper as well. So like, I'll like curl a piece up, and then I usually just use lash glue. The way that I make the construction paper stick is I just always prep my lash on here, so I'm like gluing it, as you can see. So I'm gonna just do that for all my pieces. I find that the tackier that the glue gets on this, by letting it sit for like a few minutes, it sticks way better. So yeah, so the rest of the lashes, I don't care about putting glue on them really, because this part is already gonna be super tacky, and that's not the part that I need help the most, it's the bigger pieces. So like, since now I have all these lashes on, and I usually leave just a little gap just right there, because in between my eye, like from afar, you can't really tell. Yeah. So now I'm gonna go back over very certain spots, because I'm gonna add those bigger lash pieces. So I just want the base to be tacky. Alright, so I'm gonna go and try to put this white contact in, so we did it with a minor smear. So this is pretty much gonna be the look. Makeup wise, I'm just gonna put on my hair and my outfit, because I want y'all to see what the final look is gonna be like. But yeah, this is my eye look. So yeah, so this is the final look. I'm a little bit more pinky than I usually am, and that's just because of the way that I contour today. Usually I map out everything first, and then I do my eyes. I do these eyes first, and then I'll do the rest of the face. But yeah. And it goes with the nails. Ah! Thank you, Jaycie. Jaycie, she's a bad bitch. Rosie is. And it's just like my face. One big eye on the right, two on the left.